And what about you? Cabello and Granko are missing, and tonight we open the door to information, the most hidden details about the torturers of the Venezuelan regime. What's happening? What's going on? Are the prisoners being released, as Donald Trump has said? All the answers, everything that's happening here on Military Strategies. Family, your comments. We begin, Moors.
They're attacking us with grenade launchers. The whole house is full of holes.
Venezuela?
We need it. We're wounded.
They kept shooting. They kept shooting.
Don't shoot.
Don't shoot, please. There are civilians here.
There are women and children. You've seen them. Why are you shooting? Are you going to kill people?
January 15th. Oscar Perez and his men, true patriots of Venezuela. They were executed when they were trapped inside a house. The man who was behind that operation, the man who was behind the death and torture of many Venezuelans, is now missing. Alexander Granco Arteaga. The world in general won't know him, his name. Maybe some have heard of him. But the people who know him best are the people of Venezuela, Maduro's butcher, the angel of death, the terror of the shadows. Different nicknames for the same man, someone capable of the greatest evil in this world, and who has also learned to profit from the dictatorship in Venezuela. Companies around the world, some in Miami, as we will see Americans tonight here on Military Strategies. And now things aren't going so well. His boss, the man who brought him to power and gave him the utmost trust so that Granco Arteaga would become the scourge of dissidents inside and outside Venezuela. Is he missing? Tonight's program, family, is dedicated to all political prisoners, to all of them, to the victims and the dictatorship of Venezuela. Incredible footage. Thank you.
They're attacking us with the ensagranada. With the ensagranada, they filled the whole house with holes. Venezuela, we need you. We're wounded. We're wounded.
They keep shooting. They keep shooting.
Don't shoot.
Don't shoot, please. Don't shoot. There are civilians here.
There are women and children. You've seen them. Why are you shooting? You'll kill people.
It's incredible. It's incredible what we're going to see tonight, what we're going to hear, what we're going to investigate live here on Military Strategies. Family, please, your likes, your comments are super important because they're going to try to censor this. Obviously, what we're going to talk about tonight is very sensitive. These are very sensitive topics, ones that very few people dare to talk about beyond what we see every day, news up and down. Here we're talking about crimes against humanity, war crimes, crimes against the population, against human rights sanctioned by the United Nations, among others. We're talking about the most despicable and dangerous people in the regime. This guy, Alexandro Granco Arteaga, who we're about to see in action, is not exactly someone you'd go on a trip with to do the Camino de Santiago, although he, suspiciously, even though he has sanctions in the European Union, the United States, and much of the world, managed to do the Camino de Santiago this summer, I think. He visited Spain. He was walking among us. In our blessed country, a real bloodthirsty butcher. We don't know if he was apologizing or if he was just trying to clean up his image as one of the worst parts of the regime.
Familia.
A very important family, as I said. I also want to send a hug to everyone in Venezuela, to all our friends there supporting this community, to this channel that is growing every day. Thanks to you, already more than 400,000. Please, tonight I'm asking you for something very, very special. Share the link to this live stream now with the hashtag Venezuela and write whatever you want. but you have to share it on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, on WhatsApp groups. Super important. I've been collecting different images, different texts, different information that has been coming in tonight. And we need to understand who we're up against. The Venezuelan regime is still in power, and the political prisoners are still in power right now. While we're speaking, arbitrary detentions are still happening, disappearances are still happening, and the civilian population is still being extorted. The latest news is not encouraging. Let me give you some details so you can understand what's happening. The regime is really just buying time. Time for what? We don't know. This is a long-distance race, I think, not a sprint.
No.
Delcy is trying to get rid of her rivals, Diosdado and Padrino. Meanwhile, the political prisoner Edison Torres Fernandez died yesterday in the midst of the supposed mass release that Donald Trump was announcing. A release that has not happened at this time as we are speaking. In Spain, it's 1:46. In Venezuela, it's 8:46. The long-awaited mass release of political prisoners, those who have been kidnapped, has not happened. And the disappeared. I'm afraid, and I'm being honest about this, and I'm sharing my way of thinking, even knowing the consequences that might come. I'm really sorry, but I think some will never come back for different reasons. Some because they know too much, others because they haven't been with us for a long time. And the thing is, there are relatives who haven't seen their family members for a very long time. I know this is hard, and I hope I'm wrong. I really wish that's the case, that I'm mistaken, and that everyone can come back home. We've heard the opinions in the last 48 hours, like people who arrived in Spain dared to say. Delcy Rodriguez and Jose Luis Rodriguez Zapatero were walking in front of my cell, demanding that I stop protesting and keep my mouth shut. Zapatero with Delcy and Diosdado with Arteaga with Granko Arteaga, the combination of evil against thousands of people. And now they appear in the headlines of left-wing newspapers saying that thanks to Zapatero, political prisoners have been released. Moors. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Diosdado Cabello missing and being searched for. Do you know that now the United States is after him? Delcy has told Marco Rubio that Diosdado is out of control, that it's impossible to control him, and that he's going to be an obstacle. Delcy, cleverly using the United States of America to get rid of her rivals in the cartel. The fight is fierce. This always happens when the leader of an organization falls. An internal civil war for power breaks out. This happened in the Sinaloa cartel with Chapo Guzman and in all cartels. It's always been part of criminal history, so naturally this case was no different. What happens is that right now, Delcy seems to have an aura, a protective shield, that for the moment is saving her from the witch hunt. Get ready for tonight's show because it's super important. I'd also like to send a very special greeting to someone I know very well, who isn't going through a good time, but I'm sure the sun will shine again soon. There's no need to mention names. That person already knows who they are. All right? Look at this. It's easier to surprise you when you're there. They keep coming back.
Equipped with its special compartment for transporting and mobilizing the brothers from the special forces. It fights all the gangs, drug trafficking, conspiracies, terrorism, all those national terrorism groups.
And international ones, they will not get through here.
There. We are seeing Granco Arteaga in one of his last appearances with hair. He was giving them some vehicles, some pickups, so they could arrest more political prisoners, more dissidents, more people to be tortured. The combination we see here is incredible because one of the phrases is the national and also international terrorism La Piladora. And the thing is, Granko Arteaga is a suspect, and more than a suspect. He's responsible for covert operations in other countries like Chile, Colombia, and Spain. Connections and management of the cartel's special security force. Where is their operations center? Where did Arteaga meet with his men? Where did he move around? Inside Venezuela. There is a place. We'll see it tonight on Military Strategies. Let's go to the map. In a hangar. Inside the city of Caracas, at the DGCIN base. At the La Carlota Air Base in Granco. Arteaga had his bunker. Down there in this place. Granco. Every day when he wasn't torturing someone somewhere in the country, they would come in through this place. Here, they had a group of helicopters customized for them and all their torture equipment inside this place. From there, he would move to different locations in the country, different prisons, including the one known as the Helicoide. It's the sinister place in the city of Caracas. Also Moors. In the underground dungeon at the base of Sabin, Granko Arteaga was always there too, choosing which is the right torture for each of the prisoners. Drowning? Electrocution? Fire? Hunger? Beatings? The worst of the worst, he gave each one his own treatment. That's right, family. Let's watch some videos because this is incredible. This man we're seeing, Granko Arteaga, is more than we can imagine. There were times on his social media, since he had public social media accounts, when he would say things like this.
Teammates from Team Espartano, Team Furia, Team Pac-Man, 61-6, Team Suzuki, Yamaha, and other national teams.
Extreme sports enthusiast, passionate about motorcycles, motocross, and enduro. He claimed to have started a tourism company to bring riders from around the world to do enduro in Venezuela, through the jungle and other places. The same person who was dedicated to torturing people, I insist. By day a businessman, by night a real torturer. It's unbelievable. What place does Arteaga occupy in the world? In Diosdado Cabello's circle? Because that's something we also need to understand. And who are the ones currently being sought? In fact, Diosdado has disappeared, or they've taken him out of the picture, or he's in the shadows. Preparing some scheme against Adelzi, which is something Adelzi should be worried about, because Diosdado knows many things and isn't a good person. Here's the organizational chart, Moors. Recently, following Nicolas Maduro's capture, Diosdado appeared on the street with a small group. Moors, the Terror Squad. There appeared Danny Ferrer-Sander. Also appeared Opinion. Michelana Marcano, Ruben Santiago Servigar, and Alexander Granko Arteaga. In that video, in the video where Cabello wanted to provide security in the city and say that nothing had happened, Moors. Imagine a chessboard. Cabello is the king. The towers he relies on are these four men. his closest circle. Cabello's safety and the silence of the political prisoners depend on them. But what do the political prisoners say about this issue? Just listen to this. La Sexta, a Spanish television channel, is quite left-leaning, even more than just left-leaning. What did they say?
The main person in charge of torture in Venezuela, we're talking about Alexander Granko Arteaga, one of the biggest murderers in the country. He has deleted his social media accounts.
He has deleted his social media, disappeared, and gone underground. President?
He just did it this week, only 5 days ago.
And all this happened while they were interviewing a former kidnapping victim. A victim of torture in Venezuela. And pay attention to what the guest is about to say.
The capture of Maduro. And let's remember, Antonio, that those social networks are where he posted this August. For example,
he was on the Camino de Santiago.
His visit to Santiago de Compostela. We saw what he did.
He was skiing in the Alps.
On the way, we also saw him skiing in France.
I don't know if it could be significant that suddenly tremendous...
España.
Spain, France.
Arteaga, coronel del...
Listen to what the victim will say.
Bolivariano, conocido como el Cartel.
By the way, Ferreras is the worst of the worst. Look at what he says about Maduro.
Luis Carlos?
What is Luis Carlos going to say?
Does it look like it's from social media?
Alexandro Granko Arteaga was among those responsible for my 2019 torture session. They're putting me on camera with one of my torturers, so I ask for a lot of sensitivity.
Are you putting me on camera with one of my torturers? Year 2019. 19.
Wait.
First testimony. Granko Arteaga was on television recently.
With this, we are the youth.
What are you all doing? Go out.
Go out so we can beat you up.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to put it on.
Somos la juventud.
Don't assume Granko Arteaga is just anyone. Don't think he's just someone off the street, that he has no training, that he doesn't know what he's doing. In the year 2024, around the summer, Nicolas Maduro gave Granko Arteaga a scholarship. Attention. With this, 19.
He is not only promoting his most violent torturers, but also protecting and rewarding them with costly overseas scholarships. This is what Vladimir Padrino is doing with the newly promoted chief torturer of Dijecin, Alexander Granko Arteaga. Following Nicolas Maduro's orders, Padrino Lopez rewarded Granko Arteaga with a scholarship to study for 2 years, no less than in China starting next August.
2 years in China, learning interrogation techniques, combat techniques, use of high-level military intelligence. They're not just anyone.
Granko, who has a thick file of violations and torture before the International Criminal Court. He will spend a year learning Chinese in Kunshan, then go to the Institute of Advanced Studies of National Defense in the town of Champing, a district to the northwest of the capital, Beijing.
Contacts in China, but also in the United States. Get ready for what you are about to see, because this is something incredible. Right now, there are a lot of us here, family. We are 48,000 people right now, live, watching the backbone of the worst of the Venezuelan regime. Who is it? What do they do? And what are they involved in? I want to show you another video. Something you have to see. Granko Arteaga is speaking to his men. Special Intervention Unit. I want you to look at that image. The rifle he's carrying is the same one used by the United States Special Forces teams. How it got there, we don't know. Special Operations Unit of Granko Arteaga. I insist he's not just some random guy. January 3rd. He wasn't protecting Maduro because that wasn't his job, but on many occasions, he did show up near Maduro. In fact, Maduro spoiled him too. He was passed around between Cabello and Maduro. Let's see, who got the services of this sinister person? Here we see images with Maduro. Maduro calling roll. This also happened during these last months we've been living through the crisis in Venezuela. He's the same one who gave the order to position snipers in the last hours on the rooftops of Caracas. They're the same guys, make no mistake about it. Here he also appears in another photo. Armando Info brought us this picture from their collection with the scarf rifle, also walking around Caracas. They also go up to neighborhoods and communes riding on quads, arriving in the middle of the night. Granko Arteaga is also responsible for the persecution campaigns. Take a look at this. The regime has implemented a system where you can report anyone to be questioned, interrogated, and, if necessary, put in prison. For your report, Granko Arteaga would publish it. You just have to provide data, the name and identification of the person making the report, date and location, physical or digital evidence showing the aggression or threat, phone number, or social media profile. Operation Tum is just getting started. Another clear example published on his social media, the one he has deleted now, the one nobody knows anything about, and I don't know. This is one of the clearest pieces of evidence of how the dictatorship works, persecutions one after another. To catch all of them, look at who he associates with. Pay attention to this photo. We see him among the top brass, dressed in a suit. Padrino Lares, and behind him, Arteaga, Granko Arteaga, the one who is there. The colonel who isn't really a colonel because he's something more. Recognize tonight what we're showing, family.
Yeah.
What we're seeing. But the story doesn't end here. And there's a part of Granko Arteaga that obviously... What we've said about torture, but there's another important part. Pay attention to this. We leave Venezuela, we leave Caracas, and we start a flight about 1,800 kilometers away. We're heading to the lands of the empire, the imperialism they claim to hate so much, the one they say wants to invade them for their resources. We're going to an avenue in South Florida, the south of Miami. We're arriving. A building. This one we see here is a place that can be rented to serve as company headquarters.
Yes.
There are different companies in this place. Among them, there's a very special one. Beer Food Truck Corporation, a food, leisure, and restaurant company. On the ground floor of this building, the family and partners of Arteaga have a company registered in the United States of America. Yes, you heard right, a company through family members. And front men and women who are in charge of the wealth extracted from Arteaga, from some gold mines he also owns in Venezuela, to liquidate his money and launder it. Among them, Nadi Valentina Milan, a resident of Miami, also with an office there in Doralzuela, the place where all the Venezuelans are. He shares companies with relatives and close associates of Colonel Granko. The people at Armando Info are incredible. It's a website I recommend you follow. Armando Info is amazing. The amount of information they have about these people is just incredible. Check out this video from Armando Info.
On the website of the Dirección General de Contrainteligencia Militar, recognized as a systematic violator of human rights in Venezuela and sanctioned by the United States and the European Union. Therefore, he expands businesses from convenience stores to scrap metal export. The latest of these is the Los Samanes High Performance Sports Center in Caracas, with the help of two young men, Juan Ucheche and Aldri Rodriguez Ucheche. He is an executive and investor in UCB Football Club, sponsored by Team Espartanos, a Granco-owned sports platform. Baruta municipality authorities in Caracas have approved the complex's construction. Granco, owner and supervisor, personally inspects construction of the center.
Incredible. It's incredible. I recommend Armando Info to you. You have to check out that page. Impressive. It's impressive. His son, another soccer star who plays for a team in Venezuela. He is an athlete. It's an amazing thing, posted Granko Arteaga before deactivating his social media accounts. This. Posted a video of a cell on his social media. Granko Arteaga was in charge. That's all for now. The departure from Helicoid as a convoy possibly taking political prisoners or kidnapped individuals to different locations. And there's a rumor that if Diosdado Cabello is arrested or eliminated, they have orders to end the lives of prisoners and kidnapped individuals. That's how harsh it is. And I don't think it's nonsense. I really don't, because now it saves Diosdado's life. Besides being worth $25 million, he's worth much more dead than alive. The United States already has him in their sights, and they're not going to let it go. They're going after him. And Granko Arteaga must be with him, unless he's already left for China or some other incredible place. Look.
There are thousands of security officials covering their backs and following every order.
One person embodies fear in Venezuela, Alexander Granko Arteaga.
Take a look here at the training that Granko Arteaga does in this video, which I also found with information. I don't know who this girl is, but she's a precision shooter, an athlete. She takes great care of herself, trains a lot, and takes her job very, very seriously. She leads a group as if they were, I'm sorry to compare it, the SS of Germany. Yeah. This man, this guy, this person leads the SS of Venezuela. Extermination Group 100. And I'm not the one saying this. I'm not the one saying this. Pay attention. Who says it? The United Nations. The United Nations with this document. Sanctioned internationally. Look. Here. What does this document say and what are we dealing with? Both the European Union and the United States Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control. They have sanctioned 6 officials from the General Directorate of Military Counterintelligence accused of committing systematic human rights abuses. Rafael Ramon Blanco Marrero, former Director of Military Counterintelligence, Anover Esteban Guerrero Mijares, former Head of Investigation, Alexander Enrique Granco Arteaga, Head of Special Affairs. He mentions Rafael Antonio Franco Quintero, former Director of Investigations, Ivan Hernandez Dalla, Director of the Directorate General of Military Counterintelligence, Nestor Blanco Hurtado, former Head of Investigations, all of them associates. These sinister individuals from Venezuela. By the way, speaking of Cuba, since today we started the day with the live broadcast from Cuba, what has Delcy said about the issue of no oil for a limited number of days? The Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
That is terrible. The photograph.
The movie is terrible. Are we talking about the Republic or the movie? Because this is already a Bolivarian movie. He restates his historical position regarding relations with the Republic of Cuba. In line with the United Nations Charter and international law, respecting self-determination and national sovereignty. The relationship between the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, the Caribbean, and the Republic of Cuba has historically been built on brotherhood, solidarity, cooperation, and why do they write so badly? Moors? Venezuela reaffirms. Pay attention to this because here's the key. Venezuela reaffirms that international relations must be governed by the principles of international law. By the principles of international law, non-intervention, the sovereign equality of states, and the self-determination of peoples. We reiterate that political and diplomatic dialogue is the only way to peacefully resolve disputes of any kind. Caracas, January 11, 2026. POTUS Donald Trump, this is not what you are saying. Someone isn't following your instructions. Someone is not following them. I have other news. I have breaking news. Right now, 2:14 in the morning in Spain, all night. 9:14 in Venezuela. We have breaking news. Moors, we have breaking news right now. 24 hours ago, we posted a photo, an important photo. We said and talked about the United States ship Iwo Jima withdrawing from the Caribbean Sea and, well, pay attention to this, pay attention. Photography? The United States ship Iwo Jima was withdrawing from the Caribbean, right? It was arriving at Mayport in southern Florida. It has set sail again. It's back at sea. It's going to turn around. It's going back to the Caribbean. There's going to be a second wave. I think it hasn't been made clear. The oil companies, the other day, in a meeting with Trump, weren't very clear about investing in Venezuela with a sort of light dictatorship. They want to know the future, what's going to happen, what's going to occur. Well, it seems that now they're going to turn things around, Moors. They're returning to the operations area. How are the skies right now? What's happening? What's going on? By the way, it's really shocking that Arteaga has shell companies in the United States of America. Marco Rubio, we need to look into this. Moors situation right now, M-O-R-S. The hunt continues in the Gulf for the Gulf Cartel, Colombia area.
Yeah.
Ships that are now around the island of Cuba. But we don't see any apparent activity anywhere. For now, it's calm. Let's see this week, because Maria Corina has to arrive. She has to be there. At the White House. Family. There are 57,000 people right now, 60,000 people right now live on military strategies. Your likes, your comments are super important right now for the history of Venezuela. We are still waiting for the liberation that hasn't come. For me, this doesn't help to whitewash things, to say that this will end with a new future, with something new. The same people are still here. Here, as long as the same people are in power, as long as there are groups with motorcycles. By the way, tonight they're handing out more weapons to the population. More weapons are being handed out to the population. Family members right now. Photograph of the helicoid. Photograph. Attention to the photograph. It's tremendous freedom for all political prisoners. Tremendous. Candles lit, prayers. Hope is not lost. It will be tonight. We see images of the relatives waiting. Hopefully none of them will be left waiting at the door. Because this reminds me of something. Longtime members of the Military Strategies community family. Do you remember when we experienced in Syria the liberation of Setnaya, that sinister prison of Assad's regime? A close friend of Nicolas Maduro? Relatives wait at the doors for loved ones to emerge. And they never came, searching through books for the names of their relatives to see what had happened to them and where they were resting. Moors. Let's hope we don't see the same image here. The Venezuelan people are being denounced. We also have a last-minute letter about things that are happening right now that are taking place. Another statement. They come and go. The Venezuelan people denounced the following to national and international audiences. Get ready for what's coming. The people of Venezuela, faithful to their democratic principles and exercising their sovereignty, wishes to express its deep concern and rejection of the recent actions that threaten peace and public safety. The movement of troops and the transportation of weapons at various points in the national territory have been observed with alarm. It is especially concerning that these movements have been found near and even on university campuses. Spaces that should be sanctuaries of knowledge, freedom, and peaceful debate, protected from any kind of armed coercion. Venezuela has reiterated through the will of the people that the only acceptable path for the nation's future is the path of democracy. The people seek an institutional overhaul ensuring economic success, individual freedom, and legal security. We recognize the importance of strategic collaboration with international allies, including the government of the United States, for the strengthening of our institutions and the return to prosperity. These obstacles and tactical mobilizations only delay the progress of a people who desire a great, free, and prosperous nation. We call on the authorities of the United States who govern and uphold democracy to stop any action that disrupts public order and to respect the integrity of educational institutions. And the path towards Venezuela's success must be built hand in hand with its people, without intimidation or violence. Weapons in the universities, distribution of ammunition. These people want to turn Venezuela into Somalia, Moors. Directly into Somalia. Let's watch more videos of today's events. Motorcycle groups take to the streets when the sun goes down, making sure no one leaves their house. Questioning and searching people on the street. Arbitrary arrests, searching mobile phones, email accounts, social networks. Has a witch hunt started in Venezuela? And the United States, for now, is not getting involved in this issue. Moors. They prefer not to get involved in this issue, or at least that's what we're seeing. It seems that Diosdado Cabello has control of the streets, and be careful because he's on his way to becoming ghost. The man who used to go to all the demonstrations, who appeared on El Mazo, who was on television, now goes underground. He hides. He gives instructions from the shadows and tells Delcy, "Can you talk to Marco Rubio? But I control the streets, I control the prisoners, and they will be released when I want." This is the new Venezuela, a country without law. Nor Colombians. Tough plasma. Meanwhile, going out to the yard in the snow. Incredible. What does Delcy say about all this?
To anyone who comes here claiming to be in charge and in control, right? There is a government here, and there is a people's government to take care of this country and to defend this territory.
Is the message for Diosdado or Marco Rubio?
Let's replay the video for anyone here claiming they're in charge and in control, right? There is a government here, and there is a people's government to take care of this country and to defend this territory, right?
Message for both, message for Diosdado, message for Marco Rubio. Donald Trump says that she is cooperating, that she is doing her part. By the way, we have breaking news from Iran.
Iran.
Nights in Iran are unbelievably terrible. Pahlavi Reza has said that more than 3,000 people have already died in the protests. Has he compared it to what happened in New York in 2001 Moors? The situation in Iran is becoming more and more unstable. Worse and worse. And pay attention to what has happened in the United States. Breaking news in the United States. Incredible. Breaking news just occurred in the United States. Several people were injured and several died. They almost died after a truck decorated with anti-monarchy and anti-regime posters drove through a pro-monarchy and anti-regime march in Los Angeles of Iranians in the diaspora. Current images show recent military strategies there. Major hit and run. Some oppose the regime but also reject the monarchy. They rented a van to run people over, but what kind of madness is this? This is absolute madness. Los Angeles, city without law. We don't want the Shah. We don't want regimes. United States, don't make the same mistake. Images that are coming to us right now from the United States of America. Moors. Oh my God. Things are getting out of hand. It's getting really bad. More footage that we have to see right now live of this incident that's happening at this moment in the United States of America. Let's see, first I have to check if we can show them. They're sensitive images. Well, let's see. 1 second, everyone. Patience. I want to check. Well, this is absolutely crazy. What's happening in the world? They've arrested him, huh? The police surround the vehicle. I don't really understand these things. They're just very complex countries. It's true that when the Shah's dynasty was in power, Iran wasn't doing very well. That's clear, absolutely clear. There are injured people. We have an image of the suspect, okay? There are images of the suspect, images right now, live. I want to make it clear that this is an event that just happened. It's news. It's breaking news. We are not making any apology for violence. We don't want any kind of violence in the world. And this content is informative, educational, and documentary about what is happening in the world right now. Footage of the moment of the arrest. We're seeing it right there. The world is crazy, folks.
Yeah.
The world is crazy. The world is... I warned you. If Venezuela falls, so will they. We're not making a mistake. We're not making a mistake about what's happening, about what's going on right now. And the truck encircled by people in the United States. Pay attention to this. Aerial footage of that protest. Some are pro-monarchy, others are anti-monarchy. And the driver who tried to run everyone over. These people don't learn. These people don't learn.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable what we're seeing right now. United States, The Iranians are divided. And meanwhile, in Iran, like this, two dictatorships, two ways of seeking freedom, the Iranians taking to the streets, thousands dead. Meanwhile, in Venezuela, people waiting, following instructions and hoping for a Donald Trump, who, for now, hasn't ended the dictatorship, but is trying to do so. A transition towards democracy. Or finally, if he can't find the right person to return power to the people of Venezuela, possibly, or maybe turn Venezuela into a new Puerto Rico. There are people who would sign it. What do you guys in the chat think? What do you think about the idea that, according to Donald Trump or the Trump administration, if the right person for democracy isn't found in Venezuela, it now becomes a port. It now becomes into a kind of Puerto Rico protectorate. I'm not going to give the coordinates of where it is right now. Arteaga. I know Arteaga has published it, but the YouTube platform doesn't like that kind of thing. And we could have problems. I would love to show it. You know, I love to show this kind of thing. I don't hold back, but lately they've been giving us a bit of a hard time. Problems for sharing too much. So the United States knows where they are. The United States has to know where Diosdado is, where Arteaga is, where everyone is. And I think this is going to be a drone operation. It looks like it's going to be a drone operation. And also, pretty soon, the United States must send a clear message. Donald Trump has made statements, Morse. Donald Trump says, "We are considering very strong actions regarding Iran. I will make a decision." Some protesters were shot. Thousands. Trump. Iran is starting to cross my line. It seems that there are people who died when they shouldn't have died. We are taking this very, very seriously. The military is looking at some very strong options. Careful. Things are heating up a lot. Trump said again he'll meet Maria Corina on Tuesday or Wednesday. Donald Trump might be thinking about doing a Soleimani to Khamenei. Could they do a Soleimani to Jomané in the next few hours? We have the audio released by the White House. We will listen to it in a few seconds. Here is Donald Trump live on military strategies. Family, your likes, your comments, super important. 2 open crises, thousands. Attention with this. White House releases the audios of Donald Trump. Let's listen to it. Let's go watch it. What did POTUS say?
Have they crossed their red line for a trick response?
They're starting.
It seems, and it looks like there are some people who have died who shouldn't have died.
Some people have been killed who weren't supposed to be killed. This is typical of Trump. They are violent.
If you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders. They just rule by...
They call themselves leaders, but I don't know what kind of leader that is. Do they use violence to rule?
But we're taking this seriously.
The military. They are watching, and
We are looking for some very strong options.
And we are going to give, or we are looking for a strong action. A strong action.
Make a determination.
We have to be decisive, says Donald Trump right now. We have to be decisive. Thousands. Oh my, this is heating up. Incredible, huh? Amazing how things are heating up now.
Oh.
Let's go to the map. Let's leave Venezuela for a moment.
Oh.
We switch. Planes, tankers, C-17 planes. How strange. Why hasn't this C-17 plane flown directly over Israel and then disappeared upon reaching Jordan? Why didn't it take a more direct route? Very strange. Let's see what has happened in the last few hours since we did the last live broadcast. Since 8:30 in the morning on the 11th. I've been reading about this P-8. It's an anti-submarine warfare aircraft. Could it be tracking a Russian submarine? There's talk of a possible Russian submarine in the Mediterranean. Let's see what else has happened. The P-8 has also been patrolling in the Persian Gulf, possibly looking for Iran's submarine fleet as well. Let's speed up, let's speed up. More planes have arrived. Let's take a look. We see a C-17 coming down from the United Kingdom. Let's take a look. Look, this is interesting. Philippines, Taiwan. United States using another MQ Triton. Things are also happening in Taiwan, and things are also happening with China. Look here. He was on an island in Japan, took off from there, then went down to Taiwan to do a patrol. Collaboration between Taiwan and the United States. And that's where another major focus of the crises lies. And be careful. Be careful with this. One of the planes. We accelerated communications, one of the communication links. They appeared on the other side of the planet. I think it will be a mistake, but look here. There are things showing up there. A tanker from Poland? Let's see what it's doing. Is it refueling an E-3 Sentry or another plane, like an airborne warning and control system, for example? Surely that has to do with Ukraine, but we're not interested in that. Look here. A moment ago we stopped, and now we're back. Here it is. Over the United Arab Emirates, another MQ Triton was taking off. Full surveillance against the Iranian regime, it took off and turned off the transponder. Not everything can be seen, only some things. Overlord 01. The same call sign as before Maduro's operation. One tanker returning, another one arriving. It seems to me that there are a lot of patrols right now from the United States of America patrolling right now. This is Stratotanker, one of the most watched flights on the planet. What's going to happen there? What do you all think? In the chat, we have a new audio from Trump. We have new audio from Trump. Family, your likes are super important. Subscribe to Military Strategies Live now. Moving the news about what's happening in the world. What do you all think in the chat right now? Come on, let's see it. Family opinion, super chats. What does the Military Strategies community think about what's happening right now? I have no doubt about it. Trump said it. He warned about it. We're going to launch an attack if you keep going. And they kept going. Thank you so much, Sebastian. We're speeding up. Thank you so much for that membership. Raquel, hello. Strategies from Mexico. A hug. Are you aware of Russian ships surrounding a United States vessel? Greetings and congratulations. Who wrote that? There's one thing I don't understand about all this. People here don't even know what to write on the covers anymore, just to get clicks. Russian ships surrounding a United States vessel. Where, when, and who? Does that ever happen? There's no evidence of that, but what there is evidence of is that the United States seized an oil tanker flying the Russian flag. That really bothers the leftists. Who makes that kind of trash content? Seriously? Gerardo, welcome to Military Strategies. Jorge Abajo, the murderous dictatorship of Castro Canel. Diana, thank you so much. Oscar, welcome. Juan Manuel Perea Estrategias. Has an Argentine police officer named Gallo really been imprisoned for a year without release? Tereska, thank you so much. Welcome. And Mirabella, welcome as well. There's no cooperation and no prisoners released, says Rebecca. The regime openly challenges Donald Trump. Well, of course, the United States is prepared. When there are no corrections, the risk of a second coup increases completely. If the instructions are not followed, the United States is ready. It has to bring out the hammer, and it's not the hairbrush. It has to bring out the hammer. Of course, this is a challenge to Marco Rubio, to Donald Trump. Why aren't the prisoners being released? It's Diosdado they're talking about, not me. I've got Diosdado out of control, and Marco Rubio will say, well, let's go after Diosdado. And Diosdado will say, if you touch me, the prisoners are coming with me. Well, now it seems that Diosdado Cabello is going to become Singuar, taking political prisoners all over Venezuela. This is crazy, truly crazy. Christina Estrategias, the world is in total chaos and the worst is yet to come until God intervenes. Diosdado 2026 is chaos, only 12 days into the year. We have a kind of war with a dictatorship supported by Donald Trump in Venezuela, a war in the Caribbean against the drug traffickers. Now Cuba joins in, and in Iran on the verge of collapse. Who could ask for more in the first 12 days of the year? This is absolute madness. Community greeting strategies. If Delcy keeps going like this, we're looking at the possibility of a coup. This isn't about Delcy. I think this is Diosdado. Diosdado is like a baby right now. You have despised me. You have taken away my power. I controlled everything, yet you hold protests without telling me. I have to hear about it on television. Diosdado is hurt right now, and he's flexing his muscles. Let's see how far his challenge with the Rodriguez goes. Neuromyotonia. Welcome to Military Strategies. Tell her to flood Venezuela with rangers so they can fumigate. Come on. This is like the stupidity they're spreading now. That the Deltas used an ultrasound weapon to make everyone throw up, and that they're trying to find an excuse for the embarrassment they caused on the 3rd. They weren't prepared for the arrival of a special forces team that overwhelmed them in every way, militarily, technologically, and psychologically. They weren't warned and they weren't ready. That's right, that's how it works. Puerto Rico is a free state linked to the United States. Venezuela could be similar, and I think they do well. Lucas, everyone complains about one person governing or the other not governing, but no one cares about the people. Every politician destroys the people. Do you know why? I doubt it would go badly for them after the Puerto Rico comment. Since you'll ask me, isn't Maria Corina there? Isn't Edmundo great? I think it's good to have democratic elections and for whoever wins democratically to take office. And obviously, it shouldn't be someone who's going to turn Venezuela into a dictatorship. But please, Venezuelans, you know the history of Venezuela better than I do. I'm just a simple Galician and I don't know anything. How many times has democracy returned only for a coup d'etat to happen again, leading back to a dictatorship? Please look at it. In history, that's how it is in Venezuela. On the other hand, if we look at the model of a Venezuela under the protection of the United States of America, with an army where it's the Americans who provide protection and security. And today, Donald Trump was already telling Cuba about sending Cubans to Venezuela because now security is in our hands. Security, an American army that guarantees the government that comes out of the polls in Venezuela is democratic and benefits its people. I think that format would be ideal right now in a country that is destroyed on all sides. We go on. People complain that one governs or another doesn't. No one cares about the people. Every politician destroys them, says Lucas. The solution, we speed up the state associated with the United States of America. Danny Garcia, we welcome you. Strategies? How's the pizzeria in Washington? Let's see how the Pentagon is doing. Let's see what's happening at the Pentagon, what's going on. Oh my, well.
No.
How is the Pentagon? Family?
Yeah.
Breaking news about how the Pentagon is doing? When you're hungry, it's because you're working. Pentagon. Oh my God. Pixado Pizza has been like this for a couple of hours. We're still checking out more places near the Pentagon. Working right now at full speed at Domino's Pizza.
Oh.
For Iran or for Venezuela? Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what will occur? I don't know, but the things are going to happen. They will happen. Let's speed up. Memorize. Tyranny ends, freedom lives, free Venezuela.
Sergio, Lepsi's government is unsustainable. It only has days left.
She can't run the country. She doesn't have the ability to manage the country. That woman, it's clear, she doesn't have the ability to manage. And it's the same as in Iran. The government has already lost control of the streets, and what they're doing is massacring, arresting people, thinking that this will stop with arrests. And don't they realize that times have changed, that repression doesn't work anymore, that the people can't take it anymore, and that it's over? There was someone who once told me some very wise words. Squeeze, you can squeeze, but don't choke. These dictatorships haven't just squeezed. They've choked. They've choked the people of Venezuela. They've choked Iran. They're choking Cuba. They're choking Nicaragua. They choked Honduras. And look what happened. When you choke, the people end up rising against you, and they don't care anymore if they die or not. Someone who has no life, who has lost everything, who has lost their family, who has lost everything they had, has nothing left to lose. And from there, from that moment when someone is at rock bottom, when there is darkness in the middle of tyranny, these things happen. That's where all of this happens. Incredible. Right now, what's happening? What's going on all over the world in real time? We're accelerating. By the way, we have a new video from January 3rd. Why did the whole communication system fail? Is it really that easy to destroy the communication system just like that? Take a look.
Back here, you can see the antenna of the Tetra system teleport. 2 missiles fell over there. If you can see where the residential buildings are, the residential buildings with families, with children, with women, non-combatant people, they recklessly and savagely launched an attack without caring about lives. That's a lie.
That's a lie. And I'm going to tell you why. Please pay attention. I love these videos, and that's what this is about. We're going to zoom in on something that's going to be eye-catching. Let's watch the video. And now I want us to go frame by frame.
Acá atrás se puede observar la antena de telepuerto, el sistema Tetra.
We add a repeater to the system.
Tetra is an encrypted communication system used by security forces in different countries. In this case, supposedly by Venezuela. Also, the radios I've seen aren't Tetra. But if they really launched what they say in the video, please take a good look at this image and listen to this.
Hacia allá, cayeron 2 misiles.
2 missiles as well, huh? 2. Very well. If there are 2 missiles, can the useless expert from day 3 who didn't save Maduro explain this to us? How is it possible that the building right behind that off-white wall doesn't have any burn marks, any shrapnel marks? There's nothing?
No.
It's Kurla stuck in the wall. How is it possible to have a whole mess of iron if there's no iron at all on that wall that's completely white? Look at the ceiling. This is what I mean by the information. Is not what it seems. It's propaganda, pure and simple propaganda. And there you have it. If 2 missiles, 2 drones, 2 precision weapons had hit that tower, it would be like what's behind it. That booth would be completely destroyed. This is what they don't like, that we expose and prove that they're lying. And that's how it is. They lie about everything. They lie about everything. With the medicine warehouse where they stored anti-aircraft missiles, we had to remove them. That's another example of how these people mock everyone. But of course, then the Twitter accounts show up. They start retweeting it and start saying this. Everywhere we speed things up. What has Donald Trump said about Delcy? Pay attention to this. Attention, breaking news, because Donald Trump has talked about Delcy and you're going to be shocked. Please sit down if you're standing. I suggest a glass of mineral water if possible. Because pay attention to what's next. Donald Trump has spoken. On Air Force One. On the way to Washington from Palm Beach. He lives between Mar-a-Lago and Washington. Let's go see him. Let's see what Donald Trump has said about Delcy. Sit down, make yourselves comfortable. Let's listen.
We speed up, we speed up, we speed up.
Venezuela is really doing well.
Venezuela is working very well.
We speed up. Really well with the leadership. We speed up.
We are working very well with the leaders. Let's see what happens. What's going on with Delcy?
We speed up. We speed up.
She's being very good. She's behaving really well. She supports me.
We speed up. We speed up. We speed up. We speed up.
We asked her if we could take 50 million barrels of oil, and she said, yes, we can.
$4.2 billion, and it's on its way right now to the United States.
$4.5 billion.
Is Secretary Rubio going to Venezuela?
How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? POTUS on the plane. On the way to the White House. Delcy is very kind. They're working very well. We've asked her for 50 million barrels of oil, and she said she's going to give us $4.5 billion. I'm just saying, if oil is like political prisoners, are you going to get the oil in 2050?
Cuenta.
The world is crazy, folks. The world is on fire. Like and comments. We start and speed up military strategy. Well, that's how the story goes. Maria Corina will be at the White House in 72 hours. What do you think will happen? Does anyone want to share their opinion on this topic? I think your thoughts are important. What do you think about this topic? What do you all think? Because I think it's important. What do you all think is going to happen? We speed up. Do you think something is going to happen? Will Donald Trump change his views? What is he going to say to Dell? If you have to leave and let Maria Corina and Edmundo get to Miraflores? I don't think so. I like to be realistic. You know that. I don't think so. I don't think we're in that scenario. Unfortunately, no matter how much we would like it, no matter how much we enjoy it or think it's fair, do you know what happens? We don't live in a world that is fair. Do we want to be fair in a world where there is no justice? And sometimes, or almost always, you have to play the same game, a dirty game. But Donald Trump must know why he's doing it. Let's continue, Gladys. Thank you so much. Welcome, Gladys. Thanks for that super chat. Everything adds up, nothing takes away. Usana Cabral. Channel 14 of Israel reported that there are United States planes flying over Iranian airspace. Several refueling planes and B-52 bombers took off from a base in Qatar. Big hug strategy. I don't know where you saw this, but I don't think Channel 14 said that. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think a lot of things are being said that aren't true and others that are true, but people don't believe them. I mean, there are people who are saying that nothing is happening, that no new personnel are arriving, that nothing is going on, that everything is fine. No. Well, that's not the case. Things are happening, we're speeding up, but from there to already having B-52s, B-2S and all that, well, honestly, I haven't seen it. I've been checking satellite images to see if I could find anything. Launching an operation against Iran can be done, but what's the objective? If you want to remove the Ayatollah, you don't need an aircraft carrier. You send a squadron of F-35s and they take him out wherever he is. The thing is, you have to know what the objective is, and that's what's still not clear.
No.
What's still not clear is the story. Trump still hasn't decided if he wants to go after the Ayatollah, if he wants to blow up the Revolutionary Guard bases. An operation is going to be launched, and it's clear that Iran will have to respond. But Iran... Let's take it step by step. Calm down. There are a lot of people watching us. They get nervous. There's no need to alarm people when it's not necessary. Eliezer Castellano, Venezuela, State 51, United States. Long live Trump. Long live free Venezuela. Eliezer's opinion, State 51. What do you think? Look, let's do something. There are a lot of us here right now. Let's do a poll. 50,000 people for a poll. I think it's fair. I think we have to be fair about this. Do we want? Or would you like Venezuela to be the 51st state of the United States of America? The answer is clear, family, yes or no. Let's see it. Poll open right now on military strategies. Would you like Venezuela to be the 51st state? Let's speed up. Of the United States of America? Yes or no? I want to see votes. With 50,000 people, we're missing votes. They say that unless Karina changes her environment, she won't take charge among leftists. Everyone must choose their own allies and traveling companions.
Yeah.
She has to evaluate, just like with the Nobel, she has to evaluate. She accepted it. It's not transferable. Let's speed up. Luciano, thank you so much for that super chat. Of course. Trump wants the Nobel to be taken away from him, not to get it secondhand. Trump doesn't want to be the runner-up for the Nobel Peace Prize. I'm not sure which is worse, giving it to him or not. Let's eat. Tyranny is powerless, and the people demand the regimes be removed, he says. Rafa Peregrino. Thank you very much, Rafael Con Peregrino. A bird able to dive at over 200 kilometers per hour. Sonia, thank you very much for that super chat, Sergio. Is the current Karina going to pull a big Zelensky? Look, I don't know. In fact, I think that with the way things are right now, there won't be a video of Trump sitting with Maria Karina. If there is, it'll be very light with no questions. Let's see. What we have to avoid is for it to happen like it did with Zelensky. You remember, right? Zelensky's first visit to the White House? Yeti Baines and Trump made him look like a duck. You have to carefully measure your steps and what you're going to do. Sometimes a private visit, a private conversation is better than opening up to the public, with journalists asking uncomfortable questions and having to answer. Please, Maria Karina's team.
Oh.
Please, I mean it very seriously. Think carefully. How are you going to approach it? I know why I'm saying this. You'll understand on Tuesday or Wednesday. Angel, please, no fake news. Always, no fake news, please. Because then things happen as they do. Do you think Trump simply doesn't care about political prisoners, or do you think he will put pressure? I'm confused, are you? Trump was announcing major releases 24 hours ago that haven't happened in the last 72 hours. Where are they? 11 were released. What about the others? What about the rest? We're like in Gaza, now we have to start looking for them. This doesn't make sense. Rosalind doesn't make sense. It's unacceptable. We want all of them back. Paulo Hernandez, thanks for the super chat, my friend. Let's speed up. Yosef. Channel 14 hasn't mentioned American planes. We're in Israel watching Channel 14. They've only said the United States is preparing for something. I don't know where people are getting this about B-52s flying over Israel right now, or Iranian airspace, right? People no longer know how to get their channels noticed, which is really sad. It's pathetic to do the job right, spend hours on it, get up at 4 in the morning to do a live stream at 7 in the evening. Working hard, that's the heart of the matter. That's the key to making a channel grow. Work, work, and work, not making fake news and trash content that gets us nowhere. Yes, you might get a ton of views one week, but people won't trust you and they won't watch your crap. Your channel, that's how it is. I'm saying it straight. Thank you, Joseph, for clearing that up. This surprised me. I went to look for it on Channel 14 and they didn't say anything, so for now, nothing. Andrea, would it be fair for Trump to take care of the political prisoners and not just the oil? This is an example that the world isn't fair. It's not that it's not fair. To learn more, stay tuned to Strategies, says Nati. Thank you very much, Nati. Eduardo Menoni, Libertad Media. Thank you for telling the truth without fear. A hug. Me? Fear? Not at all. I have no fear. Other things, but not this, honestly. I only get scared, but I'm afraid of some things. One day I'll tell you what I'm afraid of. What if Trump claims Delcy is obedient to make the other dictators turn on each other? Well, that's also an option. Carolina, hey, that comment from Donald Trump to the Chavistas doesn't put him in a good light, that's for sure. Family, there's an open poll. You have to vote. You have to vote, family. I want to know. State 51, Venezuela. You have to dare to ask. Asking isn't bad. You have to talk about things. When things aren't talked about, that's when problems come. I hope Venezuela doesn't end up like Puerto Rico, where almost everyone moves to the United States, says Viviana. Good opinion, Viviana. That's how I like it. You have to give your opinion. What do you think? What are the pros and cons? What do we gain and what do we lose? One thing is also true, Viviana. The geostrategic and social situation in Puerto Rico is not the same as in Venezuela.
No.
In this, Marco Rubio and Donald Trump are right. The conditions are not there for democracy in Venezuela right now. I don't know.
Siste.
Cuba is 52. Long live Cuba. Freedom, homeland, life, state. 52. I just thought of something. The new Cuba. Just made my imagination fly. Let's go to the map.
Oh.
Florida.
State 52. Yours? And how about this?
$155 kilometers. Too bad we can't build such a long bridge. What a shame. Imagine in a straight line about an hour and 40 minutes, more or less, depending on how fast you go. Cuba from Florida would be nice. Cuba, 52nd state?
Those?
Why not? What's wrong with it? Would it improve life for Cubans? It's a question. Could Cubans return to their homeland? That's another question. Would the dictatorship end? That's another question. Share your thoughts. The chat is available. Let's continue. Venezuela must remain Venezuela without tyranny, with democracy and, if possible, overcoming defeat. Regards, Claro, Pablo, no, let's see. I've discussed a format. Intermediate, a security protectorate of the United States of America, with the United States Army providing complete security, to a Venezuela that is restructuring itself. The economic decisions made from the United States and start to create the space for there to be a democracy in Venezuela. But now, Pablo, let's be realistic. If we put anyone in tomorrow, they'll have a coup d'etat next year. We speed things up. But well, that's fine. That's a good opinion, Pablo. Venezuela should continue being truly Venezuela. Victoria from Argentina. Victoria, greetings to our family in Argentina. By the way, family, where are you connecting from tonight for military strategies? Which country are you connecting from? Also, I'd like your opinion. Send us a greeting from Argentina, from Paraguay, from Panama. Strategies. Ultimately, what Trump wants is to win, and I think he's not taking Venezuela's freedom into account. I think the only thing Maria Corina Machado can do is give him the Nobel Peace Prize so he can enter Venezuela. I don't think that Donald Trump, just because he gets a trophy, is going to give Venezuela a trophy on top of that. Being second, a dom. I'm being honest about this. Let's see. I'll stop the music, stop the music, stop the music. Let's see. There's something called a window of opportunity.
Yeah.
You can't say, I want to win the lottery. After the lottery has been drawn, the tickets to go to Venezuela have already been raffled, have already been sold and distributed. If you weren't there when those tickets to Miraflores were available, if you didn't bid for them, if you didn't show the interest you should have shown for them, the one who owns the airline, which is called the United States Army, hasn't given you a seat on the plane to Miraflores. What you can't do now is say, well, now I want to get on the plane. No, sorry, that flight is already over. You need to understand Donald Trump's psychology. If tomorrow or the day after they arrive at the White House with that prize that the Nobel Peace Prize organization has already told them is non-transferable, and she shouldn't do it because if she does, she risks having it taken away from her by the Nobel Peace Prize organization itself. All this pomp that was set up in Oslo? Are you telling Maria Corina not to consider giving her the prize, since we'll just take it back from you? That clear? And for Donald Trump to go receive a prize, knowing that he wasn't the one elected, I mean, are you giving me a consolation prize? Who am I here? Being the runner-up would be humiliating for Donald Trump. I think it's not just the format, it's everything. They've messed it up so much. They've made so many mistakes. It's like a ball of yarn with thousands of knots and little time to untangle them. Bettina, hello? Strategies? Hugs from Uruguay. Hugs to all our friends in Uruguay. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Gilberto. Did you see the 2018 Oscar Perez videos in Venezuela? Yes, I saw them. Well, I don't know why. Look at this. I don't know why. They're surprised that the Deltas entered Fuerte Tuna, Oscar Perez, with a helicopter, hovered over Miraflores to throw grenades. 2018.
18.
Tunki, what does Tunki tell us? If Trump doesn't take full control in Venezuela, the narcos will take power. Venezuela, the 51st state of the United States. Tunki's opinion. Monica Maria Colina stands up to Trump as an equal. Don't underestimate and stop messing with Maria Corina Machado Zurda, who stood up to Chavez in front of everyone against him. Good opinion, Maria Corina. We shouldn't underestimate. Let's see, Maria Corina. When there's a handshake, when they look each other in the eyes. What feelings does it give Donald Trump? Let's see the energy that's transmitted between both leaders. Let's see. Hey, how's the poll going? 68, 38, yes, 1, no, 32, just 7,000 votes. Folks, we're missing votes. Greetings to Estrategias. Donald Trump talking about Iran, we've seen it. There's going to be a strong, decisive action. Gerard, thanks a lot for the super chat. His gaze, his calmness. He doesn't move his hands. He doesn't get nervous. The confidence he has in himself. He's a leader. It's undeniable. He's a leader. He's Donald Trump. Jesus Miembro. For 3 months, elections have been free, with no prisoners. Very good. Free elections. There's nothing to fear from an election. Or over there with Trump. Karina, it's great you got the Nobel Peace Prize like Barack Obama. Let's move on. Angel, greetings from the 51st state.
You know.
Angel from Puerto Rico. Pablo, there are many of us from Argentina. What I meant to say is that Venezuela ends up being a democratic country of rights. Great job. I have many friends in Spain where I also have ancestry. We all have roots from different places. Valentina, welcome. Make Cuba great again. Thank you very much for the work you do. Take care of your voice and greetings from Miami. As for my voice, I already consider it lost. It's just impossible to ask Trump to give us a break. Venezuela in Argentina, greetings to the strategies that make the show. Wouldn't it be a bad idea to become an associated state so that the United States could put an end to the Chavista plague? I don't see anything wrong with that. Let's look at the army. The Venezuelan army is an army that is not operationally effective. It can't protect its borders. It's not operationally capable of facing another power. The only thing it's being used for is repression against the people and to keep a group of Chavistas in power, who obviously are not all truly loyal. I definitely think it's something that needs to disappear, to start from scratch, to rebuild it with foundations, with strength in democracy and the freedom of values. And in the meantime, the United States Army should be providing security to Venezuela. Colombia is not going to invade Venezuela, Peru is not going to invade Venezuela, and Brazil won't either. The United States won't allow it. At this point in history, it's an unnecessary figure, a cancer for Venezuela right now. Look at the streets, snipers on the rooftops. Where have you ever seen this? It's madness. It's absolute madness. 11 Yuruko. That stretch took me 7 days and 6 nights on a raft. In 1994, Bahia Onda Cayo Marathon rowing. My goodness, what a story. Well, the thing is, those 150 kilometers have cost the lives of many people. It's not easy to make the decision to throw yourself into the sea to escape death and end up finding death in the very same sea. I want you to think about that for a moment. How desperate must some Cubans have been to have done that throughout history? It's something horrible, terrible. Thank you, my friend, for that testimony and for being alive to tell it here in Military Strategies. Well, more super chats we have here. We've reached 50. It says traveling, never the 51st. Remember, Venezuela remains in Mercosur. This is the region's window of opportunity with a new European Union agreement. Trump only has a few years. The free trade agreement is intended for the next 50 years. Traveling, providing information on Mercosur geostrategy, the union of all Latin America into an economic powerhouse. But first, my friend, we have to put an end to the dictatorships. Einstein 3 months, thanks. Strategy for supporting Venezuela. We will always support wherever it is necessary, and where there is freedom, and where there isn't, we will seek it. Rodriguez. Does the United States pay for military strategies? We speed up. That's the big mystery. Everything has been said.
Oh.
Mossad pays me, Trump pays me, aliens pay me, right? Rodriguez. Do you know what pays me? The hours I spend working to make content like this. And thanks to your support, thanks to your super chats, we can speak freely without owing anything to any state, any organization, or any criminal group. We can say whatever we want, whenever we want. We accelerate every day until God decides that our time in this story is over. In the meantime, we'll be here telling it. And if one day this disappears, we'll find an honest way to make a living every day. Thank you very much, Estrategias family. Greetings from Colombia.
Yeah.
Frank Gomez, thank you very much.
Yes.
Colombia, what's going on with Petro? Long live Trump. Only he had the guts, says Silvio. Let's speed up. Well, it was the Deltas, not Trump. Disc jockey Wilmer, welcome. Picture being with the Deltas and they ask, are you going into Fort Tiuna? They're calm, no problem. Let's go to Fort Tiuna. Nothing's going to happen. Next week they ask, are you going to Tehran? No problem, we're going. Neither Trump nor Rubio are fools, says Yeoman. They know that the regime's cleanup job isn't finished. They took out the leader. They're handling Delcy, waiting for them to implode. Otherwise, they'll act again. The story's getting interesting, huh? Donald Trump is making a move. Petro is waiting.
No.
Marco Rubio, future president of Cuba.
Oh.
The novel of the history of the 21st century. What's going to happen? What's going to occur? I don't know, but this is getting interesting. We continue. Thank you, Diana and Marlise. We must end apathy and corruption in Latin America by governing as well as possible. Nayib Bukele, El Salvador? We want a CECOT, or several of them in every country, and for these people to never hurt anyone again, right? Venezuela deserves to be sovereign and independent. Samuel Cardenas, thank you for your opinion, Samuel. It's respectable. As you can see, all opinions are respected here. Free Cuba, no more oppression. Greetings from California. Greetings from Santiago Diaz. Greetings to Chile. I'm concerned that Petro might be able to go to the United States of America. You know, I don't think he's going to go. He's going to send the minister or the secretary of foreign affairs. I'm sure about it. I'm really sure. It's super clear to me. Well, family, thank you so much for being live with us. Survey results. What did we decide on? What does social media say? 9,000 votes. 68% yes, 32% no. But the ones who have to decide this are the Venezuelans. The Venezuelans. Family, see you in the next show here on Military Strategies. Thank you so much for being live with us. It's been a real pleasure. Thanks for those last-minute super chats. May there be free elections, and may luck, fortune, and God choose the most just among them all. Family, Military Strategies. We'll see each other again in the next show.